Hey guys, RJ here and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to break down my favorite leader from OP12, Blue Kuzan. This deck is all about value cycling, consistency, and building an unstoppable board presence using the Navy package. And by the end of this video, you'll understand how it works, what makes it work, and how to play it in the current OP12 meta. We'll cover my full deck list, card explanations, ideal curves, and even a full gameplay breakdown at the end to show how it performs in real time. So if you're ready to dominate the board like a true admiral, make sure to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's dive into it. Let's go. Let's talk about Kusan. This is a mono blue navy leader with a deceptively simple but incredibly powerful ability. Whenever you use an effect of a navy card to trash cards from your hand, you draw the same number of cards. That means every time you discard for cost or ability, you're not really losing anything, you're just technically cycling. In a card game where hand advantage matters so much, being able to activate effects without losing resources gives you a massive edge over your opponent. You'll notice that most of your turns revolve around discarding and redrawing, keeping your hands full while thinning your deck towards your key cards. This makes Kusan one of the most consistent decks in the format, especially for players who enjoy seeing a lot of their decks and managing tempo across turns. Before we dive into my deck list, I would like to give a huge shout out to Ryuji515 because his build is the foundation of my build that I have adjusted based on what I have experienced in my local meta. Now let's talk about the build. One of your best openers is OP06 Tashigi, that's why we're using a full set of her. She's a one-cost searcher that digs 5 cards deep to look for navy pieces, which helps you set up your entire early game. You want to see her as often as possible because she improves your consistency by a huge margin. Next is 3 copies of OP05 Garb. This is one of the cards I have inserted in the deck, and Garb is just your secondary second turn card. He is just here as an additional draw power and a substitute for Sengoku just in case you don't have Sengoku on turn 2. His ability helps increase the odds of getting the big bosses that you will be needing in the late game, otherwise, Garb is just a searchable 2k. Then there's OP12 Sengoku, who's an absolute core to your engine. At the very start of OP12, actually, I really don't believe in needing a full set of Sengoku, but he really proved time and time again that he's a staple of this deck. He lets you discard a card to look for 2 navy cards, but since Kusan replaces the discarded card, you're effectively just drawing 2 for free, and this card is what enables the cycling strategy to really take off. Now we have 3 copies of OP12 Hina. She lets you shut down opponents' 4 cost or less blockers, which is huge when you're applying pressure and pushing for game. But what makes her even more valuable is that she also discards and redraws, keeping your engine going while disrupting your opponent's board. I also use 3 copies of OP06 Pudding. Charlotte Pudding, of course, is a staple of any blue deck. Her effect forces your opponent to reshuffle their hand and draw fewer cards. This doesn't just reduce their resources, it completely ruins deck setups and opens up our opponent to lethal turns, especially when we have already flooded the board with our admirals. I also use 3 copies of OP10 Cavendish. One of the glaring weakness of Blue Kuzan is the mid game. I think there's no good 4 to 5 cost Blue Navy cards unlike the black counterparts where they have 4 cost Kuzan and 4 cost Borsalino. So we choose to include Cavendish on the build despite him not being a Navy because he helps us dig through our deck to get our admirals and put pressure on our opponent's board by being a 6k attacker. Please do remember that Cavendish discard 1 won't trigger Kusan because he is not a Navy character. Like Cavendish, Virgo is just there to have a 5 cost drop. His spot is one of the flex spots you can replace as soon as a better 5 cost Navy arrives. Then we have the 2k bounce combo of Tsuru and Zephyr. The current ratio is 4 Tsuru and 2 Zephyr. This is one of the adjustments I did based on my local meta. Tsuru is so good if you have a lot of blue-purple players. Her bounce effect doesn't have any cost restriction, so if you catch blue-purple Luffy players with a single character on board, you can definitely drop a Tsuru to bounce the first boss cards, which is usually an 8 cost Katakuri. On the other hand, Zephyr is good against smaller characters, and my favorite target for Zephyr is the 3 cost Tashigi of Green Zoro. If you plant Zephyr and he survives next turn, you use his ability to bounce 3 cost Tashigi to remove the removal protection, then go for Gravity Blade. Now, depending on your meta, you can play around this ratio. Next is we have the boss cards. The new OP12 Garp is what takes this deck from good to great. Garp lets you play any blue 8000 powered or less Navy character for free if you discard a card. You can partner Garp with any admirals depending on what you need. You need resources? Go for 7 cost Sakazuki. You need a blocker? Go for 8 cost Aramaki. And if there's a big body on the side of our opponent, you can use 6 cost Kusan as the answer. Next, we have 8 slots for our event. So I use a full set of the budget GGG Peasant Pack because it cycles our hand while offering 4k counter for just 1 cost. I also use 2 copies of Red Rock and Gravity Blade for board control. The ratio of Red Rock and Gravity Blade can be played around. If your meta has a lot of decks that plays big body, Red Rock should have more copies. But if your meta has a lot of aggro decks such as Belobeti, Red Rayleigh, Red Zoro, Gravity Blade should be your priority. If you want to play on a budget, Kuzan is for you. Kuzan is extremely budget friendly. If I remember it correctly, I bought my full Kuzan deck for around $30. I know that's the price of a Japanese deck, but I think Kuzan will still be relatively cheaper when it arrives in the Western Shore. Now let's talk about the deck's curve. Contrary to popular belief, Kusan is not always a go second deck. It depends on the matchup. For example, if you're playing against Blue Purple Luffy, you want to go first because you want to be the first one to play a big body on board. Your ideal curve in almost all matchup would be a turn 1 Tashigi. The prime target would be Garp and other admirals for late game, preparing for the late game, but it depends on what you need. You can even get a Sengoku if you don't have a turn 2 Sengoku. Your opponent's first turn will be just going to be a pass. Then your next turn, you play Trico Sengoku, and then again, prime target will be Garp and other admirals. But if you already have it, you can also look for whatever cards you need, 2k counters, Peasant Peck, or Gravity Blade if you want to. Then next turn, your opponent will just play Bonchan, and then additional Dawn there. They will attack for 7k. You will take. Then this turn, your 5 Dawn turn will be a gamble. You want to play Cavendish this turn. This, if he has God Thread, then tough luck. You can't do anything about it. But if Cavendish survives, that will be huge boost for your cards next turn. So again, go for Cavendish, go for 6k attack, and then you pass the turn. Now, your opponent, they will have 7 done, assuming they don't have God Thread. Because if they have God Thread, they will just use God Thread and then KO Cavendish, but and they will go for 8 done. So you can prevent that. Now, assuming they don't have God Thread, they will play usually Nami. So they have 2 dons open. Now, if they attack for 6k, that means they might have Thunder Bagua. Now, you have to decide then if you want to attack the leader next turn to use Cavendish ability or not, because you might be giving him an additional don and he can use the leader ability next turn. So if you're confident, you next turn untap all. So let's say he do have 2 dons open. Again, you will have a decision to make here. And now on 7 don, you want to play Sakazuki. Now, if you attack with Cavendish, this is a huge boost for you because you will be drawing 2 from Sakazuki, and then you will be drawing 2 also if you attack with Cavendish. So that's technically draw 3 because you will be trashing 1, and then you can use Sakazuki's ability to filter 1 and give 1 don to your leader using Sakazuki's ability. Now, that's usually the ideal curve for any matchup. But again, it depends whether you go first or second based on your opponent. Now let's talk about going second. So the best example for this one would be the mirror matchup because whoever gets to play second in the mirror matchup gets a very huge advantage. So the opener for going second and first is the same. So it's always going to be Tashigi into Sengoku because they will give you options on how will you move in the mid game and the late game. So again, going second, you want to play Tashigi in your opener. The best if you have 2. So The prime targets will always be Garp and the other admirals preparing for the late game. But again, if you don't have any counters, you can get 2K counters or Peasant Peck or even Sengoku if you don't have a turn 2 Sengoku. And then moving into the second turn, you want to play Sengoku. Again, the prime targets, Garp and the admirals. But again, if you can grab a Tashigi here, that would be a good choice as well, so that you have expanded your options. But if you don't see a Tashigi, you can just attack for 6k. And the third turn is actually the one where you have to make a decision. For example, you have a Vergo and Kusan 6. So if you have multiple Kusan 6 in your hand, you can choose to play Kusan 6. This way, you are the first one to have a big body on board, and that will put pressure on your opponent. But again, if you don't have Kusan or you only have one copy of Kusan, you can just play Vergo and then attack for 6k, or even hold one Don open for the Peasant Peck. And then, of course, once you are in the 8 Don turn, this is technically the late game. You always want to swarm the board with Garp into another admiral. The more Garp into other admiral is actually the key in winning this matchup, because the Kusan or the Gravity Blade cannot reach this admiral, so they only can control the board using Red Rock. But if you use Red Rock, that means you're also not building your board, so you will lose as the game progress. Now let's jump into the simulator so you can see the deck in action. Let's go. We are now in the simulator, and of course we want to play against the top meta decks in the current format. But let's see, because there's a new update in the sim right now, so I would assume that a lot of people are testing their the new cards with their favorite deck, and it looks like that's the case. There's no GP, there's no UP, so let's just go for a quick join. So randomize who will be our facing, and we have Katakuri. Katakuri, he wants to go second because that will be pero 10 cost. Yeah, I think I want to go first in this one. There's no Sengoku, there's no Tashigi. Although we do have Cavendish. What would be our play here? Okay, we do have Sengoku. So turn one, we're going to claim. He went for, of course, Katakuri, Pudding. Okay, so we do have Gravity Blade. So if we place a Perospero, that would be good for us. Ha! I think we have to trash Peasant Peck, or Pudding is actually good here. Go for 5. I don't want to trash Pudding. I might have to trash Peasant Peck though. Oh. Okay, Garp is 1. Aramaki. No, he did get Pudding. I think Garp into Kosan would be the best play here. Alright, now the problem is we don't have 5 Don drop. So let's see what. If he takes the other one, then we might go for Pudding. Like if we go 6k and he takes it, we might go for Pudding. 7k. Alright, sure. Let's take 7k, go for 6. Ooh. Actually, let's go for. He do have a Katakuri, so let's just go for this one. So the 7 Don, of course, will be Sakazuki. We don't have a lot of counters. Actually, there's only one natural counter in our hand now. Possibly Perospero. If he goes for Perospero, then we won't be playing Sakazuki. We will be using Gravity Blade to bottom Perospero and Charlotte Pudding, because they are the key engine of Katakuri. See? So 7. I want to trash one of the Garps. No, I might have to let go of pudding. Alright. Then of course, Gravity Blade this too, 5k. Then we go for Garp into Sakazuki. Next turn. Possibly trashing Katakuri. Ooh. Oh yeah, there's a new card now. 7 cost of 5k, okay. So if that's the case, we might have to trash Sengoku. Trash Sengoku. Go for Katakuri. Now, I think we have to cycle this one out. Trash. Go for 5 here. Alright. Right, then we pass the turn. Then next turn, we red rock Katakuri. Depends on what he will be doing. 5. Oh, okay. So this is actually good for us because if we red rock Katakuri, that means we can attack Sanji with our big boys. So let's take a 7k attack. Sengoku. So now we red rock and then we target Sanji. Now we managed to dwindle down his resources. We kind of healthy in the 2k counters, so let's see what he will be doing. If he plays Charlotte Lin Lin here, we have to go for Garp into. I'll take this one. Sure. So 5-5. Oh, okay. 7 cost, so another, possibly another Sanji. A Nana, okay. Sure. Oh, wow. That's actually bad for us. Let's cancel. 8-6. Let's actually go for this one. Don't attack. Then we attack Pudding. Okay. Trash one card. Draw first so that we have an option. And then we trash. Draw one again. There you go. A good peasant pack. Attack this one. Stack this one. Oh, okay. Tendon, if he have Charlotte Lin Lin, would be huge for him. Lin Lin. We need to go for Peasant Peck here. And then we finish the game. So we can finish the game next turn. We do have four 8k attackers, so no problem with that. Sure. Doesn't have... Wait. -5 is 2k plus 1k, so that's going to be 8. Go for 8. Go for 9. I want him to use the leader ability immediately. Alright. So that means he's going for an 8k plus 2k. Three dawns. Still take. Then we go all in and GG. So 1 against Katakuri with the GG. So we will be looking for another opponent. Looking for an opponent. Second opponent. Okay, we go Zoro. I think Zoro 158. We can go Red Rock. We can. I think okay to go first here. Ooh, another no Tashigi no Sengoku. 135 might be in trouble. So let's go. Wow, this is actually very bad. Oh, there you go. Sengoku one turn. Tashigi one turn late. I might have to trash Garp here. 5 or Peasant Peck. 5 Peasant Peck is 9 double attack. I think yeah we can. Double. Yeah, I think it's okay to go double here. 5 trash. Whenever I'm facing Zoro, I want to counter out as much as possible, especially if those attacks can be countered by just one card. So we are in a good position here. He doesn't have any Tashigi, so our Gravity Blade might have good targets depending on what he will do. 3, I think it's okay to get Sengoku. And then, yeah, let's go for 5 first. Because I can trash one of the Sakazukis and then play the Tashigi again. Garp into... I think we have to start getting the Admirals now. There you go. Another one. Ooh, I don't have... This will be the last copy of Peasant Peck. So, do we want it to go into the bottom or do we want 2k? I think it's okay to take it. We are still relatively healthy. We have 5 lives still. Oh, no Tashigi, please. No Tashigi. No Tashigi. Yes! No Tashigi means... No Tashigi means we can go for this route. 6, 5 there. And then we go for Garp into Sakazuki for our counters. 8, possibly 9k attack. Sadly, we have to take if he goes for Mihawk. Oh, wow. That's actually good. We don't have... He might just go all in this one. Roronoa 4 into 7k. So this is a big problem for us because that now he knows we don't have 2K counters. So now we can actually go for this. Go for a 5. He will take. Oh, okay. Trash the no counter. Draw 3. We have 1 done. Wow, we are locking in the counter area now. Uh, Only 9K natural counter. So if he starts getting the restand, we might have a problem. 5 Sengoku. If go 6, we go for Tsuru. Now we do have Red Rock 4, just in case he went for Mihawk. Ooh, this is bad. That's the restand that we actually don't want. Ooh, that's okay. Zoro is definitely going down. Uh, we can attack this, actually. Then we have to cycle. We can go for multiple 5 cycle. We will be attacking using Sengoku. 5, 5. He doesn't have he lacks counters. One of them is an event card, so we have to capitalize on that. We can actually go for 6. Counter check if you do have 2K. If you do have 2K, he will be playing 2K, but looks like he doesn't have any 2K. So the question is, do we go for Garp? Do we use Garp to attack? Because he can focus Garp like 15-15, and then we will be... Yeah, I think it's okay. I don't have that many counters anyway, so I think we have confirmed that he doesn't have 2K counters on his hand, so there's a possibility that he will just go for 15K, 12K all in into Garp restand. So we have to be very careful here. Yep, looks like that would be the case here. 12, I can go for Peasant Peck. Uh, 12. Yeah, I think this would be the better choice. 13. Now he can go for Garp, and then we have to 7. So no blockers here again. Oh wow! Not a single 1K. Wow. Wow. Oof. That's the case. We have to go for this route. Trash this. Play this. Draw 1 card. That's a very, very huge. I think unlucky. We are unlucky with that one. I thought we'll be getting just a single 1K. It's just a single 1K. I was just hoping it's a single 1K. Now we don't have a choice but to take this one. Now, we have to go for 8, 12, 3 stand 1, 2. So 1, 6. Still have 4 dons. We don't have a choice but to go for multiple 8K attacks here. If this rests, that would be huge for us because we can attack with Aramaki next turn. This turn, bottom Perona, so that will be an assured take. Oh wow, that's huge. That's actually huge because we can actually take this one out. Target, trash, draw one, 11. Actually, you can go 12 here, 6. I can't. 11, that's two 2K counters. He doesn't have it for sure. For sure. So now we go for 10 here. Now we go 5. We actually can go 6 here. Counter check. Doesn't have it. Wait a minute. Sorry, my daughter is asking. Okay. Restand, restand. Actually, we can guard this. No blockers here. We can actually guard 12, slash 1, draw 1, 14, 15. And then he can take out one of them for sure. Sure. And then we can just go for punish here. Can go 7. That's 8. We can actually go for 5 here. Counter check. Then we can go all in here. And then there you go. One against Zoro. And we're just lucky he doesn't have Tashigi in the early round. That early Gravity Blade put him in a very tight position there. He doesn't have any board. And we managed to actually get the board presence that we need. Sadly, there's a blunder in our mid game that he managed to take out two of our admirals or our big boss cards due to not us not having counters. But yeah, won against him, and I hope you learned something new in this video. And I would love to see you guys start playing Kusan. Again, this is RJ playing One Piece Trading Card Game. Peace out.